Hello, welcome back to MOF. Today we're using a belt to work on our shoulders and upper body mobility, especially the scapula, the rotational movement of our arms. And let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to use the belt in a manner that I hold it slightly wider than shoulder width because that's where usually most capacities lie. As you can see, I'm rotating the belt with straight elbows. Well, I'm not locking them out. I'm keeping them at a micro bend. So they're still straight, but they're not locked out. Trying to take them as far above my head and rotate it left and right to kind of just open up the shoulders in all directions. Right? So I'm rotating and rotating, and then I'm inhaling to take the arms up. And as you can see, I'm pushing my chest out. Now from here, I'm going to keep the arms there and try and pulse the belt at the back of my head. So here, as you can see, my core is engaged. I'm not letting my body loose. And then I play with my chest as well as my breath. Most of you might not know, but the breath plays a huge role in your shoulder mobility. So you need to understand how the breath connects to your shoulders, to your scapula and your chest. Right? Now, once I've done this, I'm going to go to a slightly more difficult version, if I would say so. From here, I'm going to fold my belt into half and I'm taking it into my shoulder width apart distance. Repeating the same movement as I did for the previous exercise. This time my stance is a lot closer. Now you can see that this movement gets a little bit harder. And every time you get the belt and your hands closer to one another, the movement becomes a little more difficult. Once again, make sure that the elbows are straight because that's how you're going to feel the pressure on your shoulders. I'm sure you know that our shoulder is one of the most mobile joints in our body, which means it can move in a multitude of directions. And the most important thing to keep in mind is that you can get more limber shoulders with practice. Now, as you see, I've taken the belt all the way up and now I'm playing with my breath once again. It's okay if you're in this position. All you need to do is be able to play with your scapula, which is your shoulder blades, pushing them out and in. Relax, breathe, shake the arms up. We're going to take it to the next movement, which is being able to take our hands all the way back. So in yoga, we do this with our Gomukhasana, and today we'll be taking support of the belt to get this done. I've shortened the belt up, holding it from one side, bringing one arm from the top and grabbing it from the other on the other side. You can, of course, use a much longer length of the belt depending on what your mobility is. So I've pulled the lower arm up using the upper hand, and now I'm pulling the upper arm down using the lower hand. Only put gentle pressure. Do not tug on the belt if you're not comfortable with this movement. Slowly you'll see that your arms can come together and you can hold your hands at the back behind your head. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. As you can see, one side is usually a lot more flexible than the other, so that is totally normal and also a question that I get from so many of my students. I'm using my left hand to pull my right arm all the way up and then using my right arm to pull the left hand all the way down. So my elbow is essentially pushing into the ceiling. As I bring my hands closer and slowly with practice, you will easily be able to grab your hands at the back with one another. Don't forget to breathe here. Don't rush into the movement. Take it nice, easy and slow and shake it off. Next up, we're going to do only the bottom hands because this is a slightly more difficult mobility movement that we're trying to practice. So we're going to do it without any support. As we take one arm out, we're going to try and squeeze the other arm all the way in, placing our hand in the middle of our spine under the neck. As you can see, one hand comes all the way in, the other one stays out. Next up, we're going to be pushing the elbows down. So this also stretches the tricep, also stretches the elbows, but the stretch that you get on your shoulders is absolutely amazing. Can you see my abdomen? I'm breathing in and out, and I'm breathing into my chest while doing this movement because it gives me a little bit more of an edge on my shoulder blades at the back. and exhale and relax. Don't forget to ease your muscles out every time you're doing the movement. Next, we're going to use our hands to push the arm all the way up. As you can see, I'm using my right hand to support my left and pushing it all the way up at the back. Similarly, I'm using my left arm to support my right and pushing it all the way back at the back. I'm going to give you a back view of this as well. I'm using my right arm to pull this time. So you can see I'm trying to take my hand as far up on my shoulder as possible. Make sure that you're doing this gently. It is not an easy move to do. So if you have tight shoulders, go step by step. Thanks for watching.